Yo, how to make friends as an adult. Man, oh man. First, you got to talk, man. You got to talk. You got to be able to come out of your mouth and you got to be able to introduce yourself to people, even if it seems awkward that you're coming out and you're speaking to people. And, if you're standing next to a person, you know, maybe spark up a little bit of a conversation about, hey, you know, is that something that you interested in? You looking at that? Or, spark a little conversation. Nah, that part's cool. Is this a place that you normally come to? Yeah, here and there, such, whatever. Or, okay. All right. Hey, man, what about you thought about those, whatever teams that are out there playing? Got to spark up that little conversation. Now, you can't come off like a weirdo. And a weirdo meaning that you're speaking in a manner where you sound like you have no life and you're looking for a friend. You've got to kind of pick up the cues when somebody's speaking and they're speaking in short answers. They're giving you short answers back, short responses back. Once they start giving you kind of short responses back, then you kind of know that they're not really in the frame of mind to be able to, have an extra flow-on conversation with you. But if someone is somewhat prolonging the conversation, you're getting a little bit more into, deeper into the subjects, then, okay, there's a little bit of commonality there. There's a little bit of relatability there. And then, hey, man, sometimes I go out and I do certain things like, go bowling, or I go out and, go to the gun range or something like that. Man, I got this. And maybe the person be like, oh, you know what? Shoot, man, that's something that, I'd like to get into or whatever. And be like, hey, man. And then, boom, you make the connection. You make the connection. You know what I'm saying? For men normally are going to find some type of friendship or some type of commonality around sports. So normally you're going to connect with somebody through some type of sporting engagement. So if you're out at the basketball courts, you're out at the tennis courts, you're on a golf course is perfect. That's where you meet a lot of folks. And there's nothing but time and space in between you talking in those shots. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can get connected with friends. If you're not a sports person, then you just got to go out and about, wherever it may be. Wherever it may be, you can make a friend. Wherever it may be, you can make a friend. Like I said, you just don't come off with the weirdo vibes. But if you see somebody, there's a cat standing around and, they're kind of by themselves, or, they're just, looking at something and, they don't seem to be, interacting with anybody else. You roll up and say, hey, man, if you're out at the park somewhere, or you go to the library, or you go to the store, something like that. You go into the store, sometimes you throw a little conversation in there where you're like, man, what do you think about this product right here? What do you think about them? Man, there's plenty of folks that come up to me. I don't even know these folks. Plenty of folks that come up to me when I'm day in and day out. Plenty of folks come up to me, be up on the side of me, and they'll start throwing something like, hey, man, what do you think about this product? Or, man, I wish I would have, jumped on the lottery. I wish I would have. They're just throwing little pieces of starter conversations. And it's up to me of whether or not I want to engage in that. And once you start engaging, you all of a sudden start to realize that maybe there's something that may cross within that topic that all of a sudden it sparks something where you can elaborate more. And once you get that elaboration, I don't say all the time, but sometimes when you get folks elaborating on stuff, then you can kind of draw a little bit more in there. Now, there's a time of essence type of thing. The person may need to be going and leaving or whatever. And then that's when you're like, hey, man, listen, it was good talking to you, man. You know what? Hey, if you ever want to hang out or something like that, or go to wherever the places that you're talking about, you know what? Here's my, whether it's your social media or, when we used to do it back in the days, it used to be your phone number, stuff like that. Like I said, you just don't want to appear as if you are really, hard up. You know what I'm saying? There's a hard up mentality with folks. There's folks that have come up to me, and I can tell that they're a little desperate. They're a little hard up. They don't have any friends, so I could tell that they're trying to force it. You don't want to impose. You don't want to impose yourself on individuals. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to force yourself. You want to allow it to happen organically. But you've got to speak up. This is where the confidence comes in. And even if you don't have the confidence, you got to speak up. You got to start talking. And it's a numbers game. Remember, like I told you before, it's a numbers game. The amount of people that you get in contact with is where, depending on how many you talk to, you may hit one. Throughout a whole week, you may hit 50 people. It may be one. And I told you in my other videos, you only need one friend. You may get one or two friends, maybe in your whole entire life, that's really, really solid friends. You don't need 80 people. 80 people are not going to be a friend. All you need is that one, two. You may be good, and that person could be there for a duration, for a good season. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you go out and about, you can meet friends all day long. All day long. I'm a talkative cat, so I can figure it out as far as when I'm out there. But if you're not a talkative cat, you're going to have to start trying to figure out what little topics, what little things you could say when you're around individuals, and then be able to see whether or not y'all can connect and whether or not y'all start speaking a little bit further. But you can meet you can make a friend anywhere. Anywhere you can meet a friend. Maybe I'm saying it because it's easy to me, but for you, I'm giving you a little bit of game on just a little bit what you can work on. All right. You know what I mean? Now I'm about to go do what I got to do, as I always do at the park. I'm going to catch you on the next note. Peace out.